Is this thing working? Last year, last year, when I was called on stage, I went blank. I did not know what to say. And honestly speaking, I'm in a very similar situation right now. I mean, I thought I would be prepared. I did write it down. But it's still, no matter how much you prepare for this, it, it's difficult. So I'm not going to flit around these pages unless I really, really need to. But I'm going to say what I want to say to you all. ROPIO is not just a foundation. It is not just an NGO. It is a family. And I know every organization says that. So I'm going to ask you guys some basic questions. They're very simple yes-no questions. Don't worry, it's not an exam. And all I need you guys to do is raise your hands if it's a yes. Cool? Great. So first question. And you keep your hand up, and the moment the answer becomes no, you put your hand down. Cool? Cool? All right. How many of you are parents over here? The lights are really bright, so I can't see you, but I can make out there are a few hands there. Right, keep your hands up. How many of your kids are nearing the age of 8, 10? You know, that cute little naughty age where you really love them, but at the same time, they can break everything around you in your house? Yeah, that age. How many of you have those kids? Okay, that's a lot of hands gone down. How many of you have children who are hormonal teenagers, who suddenly have issues with their bodies and have issues with their voice and the way their face is changing, and who either go very quiet or they go really angry at the drop of a hat? I can still see some hands. All right. Keep it up. How many of you have kids who are young adults, 19, 20, exploring the world by themselves, still sheltered by you, but every time you try to give them some gyan, they're like, अब हम बड़े हो गए, हमको भी पता है. Oh, I can still see some hands there. And how many of you have children who are grown up and who are ready to leave the nest, who have left the nest, who are now adults of their own and are living their lives? Right. That's a very, very small number of hands. I'm not here to compare myself to any of your parents. I cannot take that away from you. But in the past 8 years, I have felt a glimpse of all of that. I felt the cuteness of the little kids and just swallowing the fact that, yes, where they will go, they will break things. With that look that says, I didn't do it. I've dealt with children who suddenly, at one point in time, who were so cute and adorable and who listened to every word that you said, suddenly become rebellious and like, stop listening to you. I have kids who now come and tell me, listen, you're old. We'll deal with this. And I'm like, I'm in the same age bracket, maybe the other end of the bracket, but the same age bracket. Yes, I felt all of that. I felt the fights, the rebelliousness, the urge to really pick them up and throw them out, but ending up picking myself up and throwing myself out. And after all of it, coming back to them because that's where your heart is. And where your heart is where your home is. I may not be a biological parent, but I'm a very proud parent of 60 children, boys and girls, who have done their best. Who have done their best to come up on stage, face such a large audience, including their own parents, and do it all. And this is very special for me. I'm very proud that this year, 2016, 6 years after being a registered organization, though we've been working for 8 years, we finally come to a full circle with one era. The children we began with, some of them now graduate. The past 3 years of their lives, when they were young, frivolous, energetic youth who could do what they wanted, go where they went, go to college, hang out with their friends, come back home late. I know I did that. But they chose to make friends and get them back here. They chose to make friends, bring them back home to take care of their younger brothers and sisters. And in a true sense, they passed it on. They truly reached out and passed it on. And today is not just a day where we perform our musical and dance and artistic talents in front of you, but today is also the day where I'm proud to say that I have kids who have graduated. One of them who's enrolled into a master's program, and one of them who's been brave enough to say, I don't know what I want to do in life, so I want to go out and discover it. And that takes guts, my friends. There's a short, I hope it's short, presentation that I've made for you to see how these children have bloomed. So just give me 2 more minutes. But before we begin, I'd like to call them, and I'd like them to please sit in front. May we please have Ms. Kajal Sharma and Mr. Akash Thakur out here. Right here in front. Come. Come out. I know you don't know what's happening. That's okay. Come, sit there. Sit. Go. Yeah, they had no clue this was going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present the graduates of ROPIO Foundation. May we have the video?
I like to call these kids who are now, as you know, some of them are graduates. They are probably they'll go on to do their master's course, so they're not little kids. But that's the biggest oxymoron that we have in the center. We call them babies. They are grown-up babies because that's how we knew them. We have seen them in frocks and ribbons and their shorts, and now they are going out into the world, making a space for themselves. And okay, I was supposed to do this because I'm the strong one. It's not really working. But when this started, they joined us in 2009 and they were little kids. They still are. I think they forever will be to us. But, I'll talk about them one by one. Kajal was this meek little docile girl, would hardly speak, and she has blossomed and groomed into this bold, confident woman. She has this light about her. She has a very gentle power about her. She makes herself heard. She's the one who had the confidence to actually say, I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to decide what I want to do for the rest of my life in that year. I'm not going to be forced into making a decision right now. And then we have the little charmer of the group. Oh my God, he can charm the pants off anybody. I don't know if I should say that. And he will also annoy the hell out of you once you get to know him, but you'll love him nonetheless. And he's still the charmer. By the way, he studies, he was doing his bachelor's in Ambedkar University, and you are Mr. AUD, Mr. Ambedkar. So yeah, apparently the popularity never stops. So we reached out to them, but now they're reaching out. They're actually passing it on. They're passing it on as teachers in the center. They're passing it on as people who take care of logistics and finance and everything else under the sun at the center. And they're also going out. Akash has actually recently gotten through the master's program for social work in Ambedkar University and will continue to pass it on. So I would like to call both of them on stage right now to give them a hug and probably stop crying. Come on stage. Give it up for Akash and Kajal! he still refuses to come out. He's still crying. So take a minute. We would love to give them this small token of appreciation for being a part of our family and actually treating it as a family. And this is something to help them go forward in life, help them, yeah, hopefully a little piece of their dream will come. This is end of an era. This is the sort of rite of passage that we have now decided will every child will go through once they actually graduate from college and I guess from the center. So now it's up to them, their choice, whether they want to be with us or not. And we hope they make the right one. We need them, dude. As much as they needed us at some point, we now need them. They're the lifeblood of this organization. Okay, over to Murphy. Thank you, guys.
I know your hands are most probably hurting from clapping, but I think they still deserve it. Would you guys like to say something? Okay, I'm not going to embarrass you anymore. So go take a seat. I'll handle it from here. I'm very sorry. You're going to be hearing a lot of sniffles. And pretend that whatever you see on my face is sweat. This night would not have been possible if it weren't for a lot of people who put in their heart, their soul, their hard work, their time, their patience. I don't know what all they have put in to make this a reality, to make this happen, to make this the second edition of the platform, which hopefully will be a continuous annual program that we'll have. And I look forward to seeing all of you every year. And I'll try my level best to make sure that we don't bore you, that we come with something new every time. That I will definitely try. But I'm not just going to give random, vague thanks. I want to really specifically let you know how people, as individuals, as companies, have stepped forward and supported us when we were nothing. And even now, within ourselves, we might be an entire universe. But out there in that world, we are still nothing. But they still believed in us, and they still supported us. So if any members of these associations are here, give yourselves a loud clap when I call on you. First up, our dearest sponsors, Global Housewares. Give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen. They came through and they really helped us out financially to put this all together. And supporting sponsors, they run an outdoor company for kids that deals in sports, and they are here. And if you have kids who are really young, and like they break things in your house, so you really want to send them somewhere, this is the place to send them because they train them in sports and personal development and a few other aspects. So give it up for them for outdoor sports. Thank you so much. Besides these sponsors, I would love to thank the members, the employees, the faculty of all those institutes and organizations that have helped us move from day to day. So if you're here, remember, you have to hoot loudly so people know you're here. Thank you, ThoughtWorks, for, they're here, for holding a hand when we had just begun, helping us with our website, helping us with sponsoring the kids' tuitions. Those kids who are now in college and entering their masters, they were their first sponsors who helped them through their tuitions. And who made sure that once a year at least, their employees and our kids visited each other and they learned from each other. And after that, it just went up. So thank you, Bain and Company. Yeah, they're here. Excel Catlin, Swarovski, L&T, McCormick. Are they here? Each of these companies took out time to spend that time with my kids, from the youngest to the oldest, inspiring them, teaching them and learning from them, hopefully, and creating something altogether new, a new dimension to their personalities. But besides these companies, there are also individuals who, on their sole effort, came forward and supported. I would love to thank Miss Candy Thomas. She's not here in Delhi, but she spent her summer vacations here, and she spent all of that with us, training these kids in the dance that you saw. So though she's not here, ladies and gentlemen, please give her a big hand. Miss Sonia Bindra, who came in at the last moment and put our play together, directed it, and gave it its artistic touches. Thank you so much for being there for us. Another one of our young volunteers, Miss Rimpa, who took over after Candy left and made sure that the kids stuck on to that energy that Candy had brought in. Thank you so much, Rimpa. And of course, all those many individuals who came and taught my kids how to play the guitar and drums, which you will see next year, people. Wait for it. So thank you, Mayank, Jovan, Ashish, the people at Tisla, who took out time and trained these kids in guitar and in drums. Thank you so much. As I said, you haven't seen a drum performance here because it takes time, but you will see it next year. And a big thank you to two categories of people without whom my life would be incomplete. First up, my family. I'm privileged to say I come from a beautifully big and loving family. I have a lot of brothers and sisters who take out their time whenever I need it. And I don't have aunts and uncles. I have 6 sets of parents. Each of them support me in every which way possible. And I know I would not be here without them. And of course, though I just said I have 6 sets of parents, but my own dearest parents, who took out their time, came. My dad made all the costumes that you saw the kids wearing. And he's helped out so much with the catering. Yes, there's food outside for you tonight. With the catering, with the costumes, with the props. Though he had so much on his shoulders, he still took out time. I've got one hell of a dad. And the last category of people, the people whom I will still call family, but the family made out of choice. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about my friends. There's a reason that the platform happens on Friendship's Day, because there is no better way for me to show what can happen when friends get together and put their talents, their time, and their love for each other together. So a big hand for all the friends of mine and of ROPIO's who took out time and made this happen. I know I'm truly blessed because wherever I turn, I have family. I have a biological family, I have a family made out of choice, and I have a family that God gave me. The children that one day will go out and pass it on and hopefully will become rays of hope in the society that it so needs. I know I've talked a lot, so I'm going to shut up in exactly 2 minutes. I don't like bland and boring thank yous. And I know a lot of people have put in efforts on their own terms, on their own platforms to bring it here. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a heartwarming applause for our musicians, Lucia and her soul brothers, Chizai, Funk in Motion, Madhyama, and a beautiful Odyssey piece. And last but not the least, the man who has always been with us from the beginning of ROPIO, the star choreographer and performer, Pradeep. Thanks to whom all these performers were here, the dancers were here because of him. So once again, for Pradeep. But as I said, I'm not going to end with a bland thank you. My dear Antra, I'd love for you to play Yatra. Are my kids ready?